a simple, quick lesson on a very basic fill that you can do when you're playing swing. And I'm going to be doing a different video on some basic approaches to coordination for playing swing when you're just starting out. The kind of traditional approach is to play the standard swing pattern and keep that constant along with 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. And then you go through this whole sequence of things on your snare drum or bass drum or combination, and little by little you build it. So I'm going to do a video about that later, but today I'm kind of skipping over that. Why not? To get to the part where normally you play a fill. And I've noticed a lot of young drummers, they play jazz and swing fills, little ones, similar to the way they might approach playing a rock fill, where they play it very much, around the toms and very straight. So, and I always say that swing is very fluid and that you should have kind of a constant sound, a flow going the entire time. So if you play a fill, if you're there playing, nice and all that's great, and then you go, that's kind of doesn't fit with, the overall groove that maybe you had set up prior to that. So there are various ways you can approach it. I mean, the simplest thing you can do is, all right, when you play a buzz roll, that to me is one of the best fills that you can put in swing. That's simple, effective, it'll get the job done. But if you want to move beyond that, triplets obviously are the foundation underneath swing. So you can play constant triplets to keep a flow going. The difference is that in swing, the upbeat has more importance than the downbeat. So instead of, say, playing your typical swing beat for like a young middle schooler, they would probably be very strict to, which I would not recommend. Personally, you sound like a piano, pressing swing for the drum beats on the piano. But instead of, playing that kind of beat, just focus on your cymbal and your hi-hat. And you will play constant triplets, but not play on the downbeat. Listen to how this sounds when you're playing it very strict. You play your swing rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all of a sudden, that's kind of harsh. It doesn't have the lightness and the fluid motion of swing. So instead of playing downbeats, you need to play upbeats. And what I'm going to do is just play right, left, left, alternating hands on the triplets. But I'm going to put a little accent on the upbeat as opposed to the downbeat. And at first, I'm going to just keep it on the snare, and then we'll take it from there. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Ready, and... All right, so I played upbeat accents instead of downbeats. And little disclaimer, my left leg does not function. If you saw my drumming with disability, you would know why. But my left leg no longer functions the way I want it to anymore. So if you hear it not exactly where it should be, that's just all I can do right now. So my left leg has left me out in the dust. But either way, I can still play swing with all the other limbs. So I played my accents, and I did a 2-measure phrase. I played my accents on the upbeat. That immediately gives it a lighter feel. And then what I'm going to do for another example of that is then I'm going to move between the floor tom and the high tom. So it's the same exact thing. I'm just going to put the accents on those 2 toms. Ready? 1, 2, a 1, 2. Here we go. Ready and all right. So now I did the accents on the toms, and I'm doing 2-measure phrases, but you can do it 1 measure, you can do 2 beats, you can do it any variation you like. And then the last step is to fill it up by putting double strokes on the snare drum softly. So you're playing the same phrase, okay? But I'm going to put double strokes underneath, and that gives it even more of a fluid motion to it, okay? So let's try that. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, ready, and ready, and okay. So again, this is meant to be just kind of a speed drum lesson. But if you take triplets, constant flowing triplets, but you put the accent, the emphasis on the upbeat instead of the downbeat, still right, left, right, left, right, left. And then if you want to get extra fancy, you move to the other drums. And you don't have to just keep it on toms. That's just one example. And then the last step to make it the fanciest version, although it's still relatively simple, is to add double strokes on the inner beats, the softer beats on the snare drum. Okay, so here's a little more fluid or, variation of it. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, ready. And try other things. And then, of course, the last part of that is that it's not, this very strict phrase. You can interject it within other things that you play. It doesn't have to be just this one thing. So if you use it for, say, 2 beats in between or as a part of, a total phrase where there's other things that you play, then you've got more vocabulary, more choices. And double strokes, and this is another lesson that I've taught in the past, double strokes are a very simple way to help fill up something that you're playing. So whether you're playing, I know I'm getting off topic here, but I do that. So, let's say you're playing a regular pop rock beat. Just those little double strokes on the hi-hat or very easy, very simple, little 5-stroke roll. So whether it's in jazz and you start putting little double strokes underneath in that particular instance, or straight, whatever the case may be, double strokes are your friend. And here, like I was saying, in this context with jazz, upbeats are more important than downbeats. You want to emphasize that. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Again, I was here late. I was a little disappointed that earlier today for the Daily Dose of Drumming, I had internet issues and stuff. And I figured before I got out of here tonight, I would just throw this up here. Um, it's what I do now. So I hope you're all well. It's good to see you. And I will be back soon and tomorrow at 2 p.m., of course. Daily Dose of Drumming. It's nice to see all of you. Take care and bye bye.